Out of the way, please let's call things to order. I'm Ed Holland. Welcome to the July extraordinary meeting for the Bicycle, Pedestrian and Traffic Safety Committee of Portola Valley. I am Ed Holland, the chair.
Kevin Welch.
Angela Hay.
And we have Pat Bannon online. Pat is vice chair. Okay, thank you for that. Item number 2 is for anyone to speak up with oral communications for any item not on the agenda. Please keep your comments to around about 2 minutes, please.
Alan, we can't hear you.
Is it okay if I speak up now?
Yes, please.
Yes, thank you.
Good morning. Hi, everyone. I just wanted something on the record. I had said that for e-bike legislation, we would have rules in place by January 1st, 27. And I needed to clarify something. There's no emergency clauses that we can find in the legislation, which means it is January 1st for some of the legislation. But for the manufacturing of, the new manufacturing rules that would go into place if they get passed and the governor signs them, etc. As well as the education portion, those don't go into effect until 28, 29. So there are on-ramps for those two bills. So I wanted that on the record and to be clear about some of the evolving legislation, just so that everyone is aware of the timing on e-bikes. Thanks all. Take care.
Thank you, Helen. But pursuant to that, and I'm concerned that if something happens and then somebody says, well, the town didn't have any rules, I'm concerned about liability for the town. Is there any value in raising interim ordinance for the town or doing that?
Right. Yeah. We don't. I'm not a lawyer, so I would need to bring that back to our legal counsel about our liability.
Oh, absolutely. And apologies for putting you on the spot, but for that and for other reasons, so that there might be the potential to issue citations or take some sort of action with a little bit more weight behind it. But that really is kind of off the top of a few people's heads, you might say.
Right. I mean, obviously, anything over 28 miles an hour and is illegal, right? We know that. And for 13 to 16-year-olds, we know that. So that is, that's already in code and in government code. So in terms of other liability to the town, I would need to ask our legal counsel.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks.
Do we have any other oral communications before things move? Oh, Christy and Rita, I see hands up. Christy, I just happened to see yours first on the screen. Go ahead and please be brief.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I have a question I live on Alpine Road, and when the wedge gets started, do you have dates and can you explain what we might go through and how this committee can assist with letting the residents know the delays, the detours, and so on? What's the update? I may have not attended a few of the last meetings, so I would like an update.
Yeah, we don't have any further information on that. Darcy, if I can maybe have your attention for a moment. The question is pertaining to operations at the wedge and whether there is a schedule on what delays and interruptions could be expected. I mean, I'm sure the building and planning would say that you have to maintain regular road operations, right? Except for, incidents of
permitted closure.
Access.
Yeah. So the town is reviewing the project construction permits. I do not believe any construction permits other than the simple clearing you've seen, the tree removal, and I think some demolition maybe grading have been issued, but the major building permits that would trigger any road closures, which are typically like encroachment permits to construct utilities in the right of way or curb cuts, those have not been issued. So until they're issued, or I guess close to being issuing, we don't have a sense of timeline of construction. But from where I am now, I think road construction is probably months to, if not sort of 2027 away. But we
Okay.
will certainly provide all the updated information on our webpage under the project.
All right. Thank you, Darcy.
And I am noticing that the pictures on the fences are possibly outdated. So if those could be updated for the residents to see what's coming, that would be ideal. like-
Yep. Take that up with Stanford or the developers. That's nothing to do with the town.
Right. I just request that. Thank you. I
Thank
mean, then we can see where the driveways are and so on.
Okay. Thank you, Christy. Moving on quickly. Rita, I see you have a hand up. Do you still have a comment, please?
Yes, yes. It's about the e-bikes. I'm glad we're looking into it, but for January 1st is almost a little bit too late because we have the school year getting ready to start, and summer has been nice, and I've seen more and more of these e-bikes, throughout the town. The school system knows what families have kids at home, in our beautiful town. And I really hope that this committee can work with the Petrola Valley School District to do some parent education, because these kids are not buying these bikes for themselves and they're not paying the electric bill. I really hope that something can be done. It's July now. So maybe there's an ad hoc, or maybe just an outreach to Roberta or someone, that some type of conversation can happen now so that the school system can educate the parents on what the rules are concerning e-bikes so that we can keep our kids safe. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, Rita. I can tell you that a lot of these things have already happened and are ongoing. My contact with the school district, with Roberta Zera, tells me that she's very firm on things like this. Schools tried to implement a policy. They've had police department have provided educational days and information to uphold what we know about e-bike regulation. And they are trying to be strict on it with their students. But it's an ongoing process, and it will need.
Yeah, we've got to work on the parents. The
Yes, we
parents
do.
are the key. They're going out that house with those bikes. Thank you.
Thank you, Rita. Helen, did you have another comment pursuant to that? I see a hand.
I did, exactly. Rita, yeah, the school district held a specific e-bike, hosted a really good speaker who's up from Marin that I've been talking to about e-bikes as well. To be honest, they had 3 people in the audience. So it is, we do need to reach the parents, and there's going to need to be some community efforts at culturally explaining to the parents the unhappiness. So the school district is trying, we're trying, the sheriff, I know, that he and the sergeant is on our call, that they had 5 kids run away from them, so we're trying, right? But the parents, you're right, we need to reach the parents. So feel free to talk to your neighbors, put it on your neighborhood list. We need to talk. I fully agree with you, Rita.
Yeah, I'll reach out. I'll send the message to Roberta myself.
That'd be, yeah. And Roberta's doing stuff, so
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So
It needs to be a postcard to the parents, and what the ramifications of those actions include is perhaps a neurology visit to Stanford, which we don't want to happen.
right, yeah. So there has been my understanding is there have been flyers sent home on with the kids. There are costs to sending out postcards, and I don't know if their board did that. And then we have it up on social media. Thank you, Darcy. It's up on social media. I shared it. There's a good flyer on social media that the town posted this week. So, it's a cultural shift because these these are not bikes, these are motorcycles that the parents are handing them, and some people are fine with handing their kids motorcycles, but I do think that there needs to be education, and so it takes all of us, it takes a village. So feel free to spread the word.
Yep,
Thanks.
thank you, everybody. I think some good ideas and issues came out of that. So, but this is going to be a continual agenda item for this committee. Thank you. Are there any other public comments before we move on to the main agenda? Not seeing any hands up. Move on quickly to approval of the minutes from the June 5th meeting. Angela, I know you communicated a few amendments that should be made. This is what happens when you do the minutes with AI in 5 minutes. So apologies for not proofreading that, but I would like to suggest that someone at least takes down the main points of the meeting specifically, that that I have a right-hand man or person if we make any determinations, if we form a subcommittee, or if we take any votes. I'd like to make sure that details would be captured by somebody who's willing to do just those simple tasks and communicate them to me. I can't do all these things by myself. Well, then we're going to get the same minutes all over again. Thank you.
Well, I would like to say, seeing we've got Darcy here, to have our Zoom set up so that Zoom sends a summary to the meeting person with AI.
Happy to chat about that. And Helen's on. So the town does not currently allow that.
I'm asking that the town do allow it.
Yeah, so that would be a policy action by the town council. So I think Helen's heard you and we can take it under consideration. But absent a policy, we do not allow artificial intelligence. And this is widespread. The town does not use AI as a note taker.
No, I'm not suggesting it as the final thing, but I'm suggesting that it is sent to the head of the person operating the Zoom.
Yeah, understood. So the chair issues the Zoom, or operates the Zoom, but it's a policy.
You understand? Yeah.
It's a policy. So Helen has noted it and we can discuss it when we discuss council
Thank you.
work direction in the future. It has come up in the past relative to committees, so we
I
are
will
aware
say
of it.
for casual comment, I completely agree with the policy. What I'm looking for is a human bystander that can just go, yeah, point 1, point 2, point 3, really simple. I don't think that is
So most
asking very
committees
much.
have the secretary do this.
Yes. And I know, Angela, you've done.
I did it for 10 years.
Yes.
Yeah. So I know this committee has vacancies, so perhaps we need to recruit some new members, and maybe someone would really enjoy that job as a way to get familiar with the committee. So we can work on a social media post and an announcement to the community, but often direct recruitment helps. So I'll use this to encourage anyone who's listening to apply or spread the word.
Thank you.
We have needed more members for quite some time. So that would be super if we could get a few more people, because the ones that are on the committee now are spread pretty thin.
Yep, that's absolutely right. Thank you, Pat. All right. Well, if I make a move to approve the minutes with amendments, do I have a second?
You have a second.
Okay. And take a vote. Those in favor?
Aye.
Raise a hand.
Aye.
Say aye.
Aye.
I beg your pardon, Pat. Was that an aye from you?
That was an aye.
Thank you. That's carried. And now we move on to item 4. Sergeant Nick Barano with our police report. Thank you, Nick, for being patient.
Yeah, absolutely. Good morning, everyone. So we're reporting out, if we all remember from the last meeting, we're reporting out on May's numbers this month. And that reason being that this allows me time to complete the report with accurate numbers here. So May, for the month of May, total moving citations was 66. We had 3 parking citations, 0 traffic collisions, and 0 bicycle-related accidents reported.
However, we did have accidents. They were just not reported to the police.
Well, we've had some that were not reported in May. So we've had some subsequently, but they'll come up. Helen, if you can still hear us, could you mute, please?
Oh, sorry. I actually had a comment and a question for the sergeant.
Yes.
I don't know, Sergeant, if you by any chance have the numbers for the skyline enforcement actions, because that is on top of what skyline does touch Windy Hill, or well, does touch Portola Valley.
No, I do not. That would be the skyline would be the unincorporated parts of it. These numbers are specific just for the town of Portola Valley.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Nick. Does anyone have anything further for Sergeant Brano?
I have a question for him.
Go ahead, please, Kevin.
The Palooza is coming up. I'm sorry. The Palooza is coming up on the 29th of August.
Yes.
How many officers are going to be out here? Do we know that? Oh, sure.
So we're working with our reserves. We're working with
Helen,
I'll answer that, Nick, if you don't mind.
Nope, go ahead.
So, I am coordinating with the sheriff's office on that. We don't have a final plan because we are still talking with event organizers. But I want to emphasize that there's sort of a base of service that comes as part of our contract, which is free. And then there is additional cost. And for this, I just say we are contemplating the additional cost and looking at that. But I will just say last night we had our music event, and my one takeaway was that we had a lot of cars parking on the street in the bike lane. So that's a big concern of mine with PV Palooza. But you know the background of this bike lane and our roadway more than I do, but I was going through some archives of the town related to Windy Hill and that parking situation. And I see you have a sign, but without signage that clearly states no parking, it's my understanding that citations cannot be issued. So I think that's sort of one of our main concerns to look into relative to PV Palooza, as well as other special events. I mean, it happened last night. There was off-street parking available. I think people just didn't know it was there because it's not necessarily easily seen. PV Palooza, I will tell you, I talked to John Badger, the organizer, yesterday, and he has arranged for off-site parking at the Mid-Peninsula Open Space District Windy Hill field. And he hires a van and a van driver to shuttle people back and forth.
Yep.
So far, he's also arranged for additional parking at Christ Church. Thank you. They're very generous. Windmill School. But we are estimating 800 to 900 people sort of at any point in time, which is similar to the horse fair. And I was here for that. And it's certainly parking was the biggest challenge.
Yeah, I mean, I've recommended to the Palooza committee that they have something that specifically says event parking here. Now you're going to get people that do whatever the heck they want to do. And, you know, the area that we would like to cover with restricted parking is beyond the resources really we have among ourselves to actually cover it with signage and warnings or tape or those things and resources of people to manage it. So difficult problem.
Yeah, it is a difficult problem, and it is something that I think the town is examining. We have had a policy conversation about the interest of preparing a comprehensive town parking management plan, especially relative to the proposed parking lot and demand anticipated with the Mid-Peninsula Hawthorns project. But I will tell you, because I'm at town hall 5 days a week, even weekdays, we have parking challenges here. we have a big event or even a small event, we exceed our demand and then people just start parking wherever. And that's a behavioral challenge. It's very difficult. But I will tell you that I think it's a very common perception that people can park on the road. It's just not it's not marked as a bike lane. There's no
No,
parking
it's-
signs.
It's a regular shoulder. It's perfectly legal actually to park there.
Mm.
Unless we declare it otherwise in a temporary fashion that is compliant with the requirements.
Yeah, yeah. So you understand the challenge.
Absolutely.
Okay, but I am working closely with the
I
sheriff's
have, I have a suggestion.
Uh-huh.
And that is to put these signs from Windy Hill all the way down to Farm Hill.
For the audience who can't see the camera, it's a tow-away, no parking sign. Okay, I can examine that with the town. We now have an interim town engineer who I'm hoping will come to the next meeting, and the sheriff's office to see. But I think my concern is that those signs are likely to be removed, pulled down. And so our actual ability to issue permits and then uphold those permits, it could still be a challenge. I'll just say that. Those are typically used for like encroachment permits or construction where there's
Right.
a permit issued that you can't park where you would otherwise be allowed to park. And they're for a date certain, but I'm not sure that with our special events, I don't know what the solution
What
is.
happens out here, Darcy, is once one person we started Windy Hill overflow parking in 2012, right, Ed?
Oh, yeah.
2012, people were parking Windy Hill. They park on our roads. Angela, myself, and Ed, we used to tag people up there, and we really nicely, courteously,
Mhm.
tell them
Yes.
not to park here because the bicycles come around the corner. We nearly had, I think we probably had 1 or 2 collisions up there anyway. And at that point, it took us probably 12 years to finally manage that, and finally people are not parking up there in the overflow in Windy Hill. Once one person starts parking, no matter where it is, 5 or 6 or 7 other vehicles will be parked. And that's what we have to stop. We have to stop that initial person from parking off the road or in the shoulder lane.
Yeah, but again, as
of our
Ed just,
town.
it's perfectly legal. So like, and I will just tell you, it's very hard to then to have someone, whether it's an officer, whether it's me, whether it's Woodside Patrol, whether it's volunteers like you, to go out to someone and say, you
Yeah.
can't park here because they actually have a legal right to do it. So I guess I just don't want to, I'll have to look into that. Comment noted, and it's certainly a concern, but I don't have a solution right now to present to you.
We have enough parking. They can use Farm Road. And then we have parking in Christchurch, of course, and we decide what to do there. And we have parking over here. We have parking here. We have probably 300 parking spots just around our town here, besides Mid-Peninsula.
Yeah,
open
the
space.
challenge is, I think for the horse fair, we estimated like 900 people, and that,
Wow.
so I was here for that. We exceeded our parking.
Mm.
We were completely full. We
And the
had,
horse fair is way less than the Palooza. I mean, they were as far as the Presbyterian church that often has weddings at the weekend. So they were parking in the Presbyterian church as well and way beyond. So it's Palooza is bigger than the horse fair.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's keep an eye on it. Unfortunately, I will not be here on the day. So, but anything I can help to do organizationally ahead of that,
yeah, thank you.
obviously, I'll do what I can. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Nick. I think, does anybody have any further questions for Sergeant Nick, or can we release him to his regular duties? All right. Thank you, Nick. We'll see you next month.
All right. Thank you. Have a good day.
Okay, on to our next item. Where are we with that? We have Public Works update. I think, Darcy, you were mentioning that there has been a little turnover in the Public Works Department. I'm sorry to make you get up again.
Good exercise. So yes, just this week, we hired an interim town engineer. He's just started Monday, so he wasn't able to come to the meeting today, but I do hope that he can come to the next meeting and we'll introduce him. So he is a consultant. He does not work full-time. We are trying to get, have him in the town hall though, in person, so that he can assist us with all the work the town engineer does. We have quite a bit of encroachment permits. I'm sure you have noticed a lot of activity. And so he'll be working on those and other town engineer projects.
Oh, thank you. I was going to ask what priorities you've given him at the beginning, so that.
Well, yeah, you probably see more utility work. I have. If you drive down Alpine Road right now, for example, you'll see some construction where they've cut into the right of way, and we also have a lot of AT&T work. Just yesterday, they were working on copper wires down the road. And
We've had further thefts, because this is not being publicized now. It's just being accepted as normal. I'd like to request that every time this happens, that we get to know about it, because it's like, it's not okay.
understood. Yeah. Well, so
And you didn't do it, I know.
hopefully he'll come to the next meeting. You guys can chat with him.
I have another request for the town engineer. When Howard was the public works director, he would always make sure that if people put tarmac on the road to patch holes, that it was put flat, because we have a lot of racing cyclists coming through. Currently on Alpine Road in both directions, there's a lump in the shoulder, and it's not easy for people to see it under the trees. And they've put a cone there at the moment. My fear is that when the contractors go, that lump will still be there. And I know what Howard would have done. He would have made them make it flat.
That's a very good point.
Thanks.
Thank
Yeah. Okay.
So
Comment
that's
noted.
part of the town engineer's job, to make sure that whenever there's somebody resurfacing the road, whether it's the sewer people or the utilities, that when they put the tarmac back, that it's put down flat.
It's signed off and done properly. I mean, sometimes they do a temporary patch, dig it up and then work again, so that you're all fighting against that.
But at the moment, it's got a plate in each direction.
Okay. All right.
And I saw cyclists just swerve out into the road. Half of them are doing that at the moment, going down Alpine.
That's okay if you look behind first.
That's right.
All right. Thank you, Darcy. That's a good update. And we look forward to at least meeting the new interim engineer when he's available. Thank you. Okay, moving on to section 6, which is our ongoing committee business. First up on here is e-bike safety and proposals to form a subcommittee and working group. This is a hangover from last meeting. I don't know if there has been any progress from that subcommittee. If they have a report, and now is a good time.
Yeah. One of the things I noticed out in the California Vehicle Code section, the town does have the right of way to make an ordinance. They can make an ordinance on the path, on the parks, sidewalks, okay? But they cannot, of course, deal with California rules and regulations. So we have to abide by those. But if we wanted to make a certain path or a certain sidewalk or a trail, we would have the right to do that under Vehicle Code Section 2127.5.
Yeah, I mean, there's support for, albeit discreetly, that is kind of a trails and paths thing, but it crosses over with traffic because these vehicles.
Even last night when Darcy was there as well, Angela and I were together, and this e-bike came through. Did you see that person come through?
Yeah.
We witnessed.
I've witnessed them across from my house driving at 30 miles an hour down the trail.
And there was little kids, there was small little
Went
boys and
into the-
girls dancing out there, and this guy came through on an e-bike. I was going to run after him, but they're faster than I can run. And he took up right through the middle of our town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the town trail system does have basically no vehicles plus policy
Yeah. So
and
our,
signage, albeit very discreet and difficult to observe.
So we do not, the town does not permit motorized vehicles, of which I would initially say they qualify, anywhere in the town center. So for example, you might see someone riding a golf cart. That is not allowed at all in the town center. Very hard to regulate and enforce. But that individual, if you could have gotten their attention and flagged them down, which I presume is quite hard, because again, we did have e-bikes right away from deputies. But yeah, you could stop. Oh, we're doing fire alarm testing, sorry. But you could stop them and tell them this is not allowed.
Yeah.
And that is true of all of our trails, even the paved trail. Even this, we have a few paved trails. They are not allowed on those trails at all. The
So-
only place e-bikes are allowed is the street, the paved street.
That is a distinction from ordinary pedal cycles because those are allowed on some of the paved trails. And am I correct?
Correct. There are some paved trails in the Safe Routes to School document where some bikes are allowed, but that would be a traditional bike. Yeah. And I just want to say on the subject of e-bikes, because it came up earlier, we have great laws already. The challenge is that, again, when the officers go to cite the children on these e-bikes, they take off.
Yeah, they're not.
And that
they're
happens
not
all
catchable.
over.
Yeah.
And we will not chase them because that's dangerous. So if anyone can think of better ways, and frankly, I think it's finding these parents and talking to them. So it's going to take a personal touch because we could do all the enforcement in the world and these children and their parents
I would warn that
do not
any
appear to.
personal approach is likely to be met with a very similar attitude than you would get from a
Yeah.
kid.
So then I don't know what to tell you, but even when the bikes have been impounded, I've heard this just anecdotally. I don't know a personal experience, but they are returned. They are obtained the next day, and those kids are still out there doing
yeah.
the exact same thing.
No, I just had one of my residents up here talk to me about that, and the open space can confiscate the bike. And this little boy, who I know personally, okay, his bike was taken for 30 days by Mid-Peninsula. And teach them a lesson, right? Because the parents weren't enforcing it. They're trying to as much as possible, but kids are kids. And so he was really shocked that they took the bike away from him for 30 days.
Well, there was also a scooter came through the town centre last night too, a kid on a scooter. So it's not just the e-bikes, there's scooters as well. But I do think one of the things that we do need to maybe apply for a grant for is better signage on our trails, you know, because the bikers that go on those trails where it says no bikes and no cyclist can read those signs.
Yeah, it's plausibly deniable, you might say. That, yeah. In the UK, I'll comment, I've just read an article where thousands of e-bikes are being crushed after being confiscated. So anyway, thank you, Angela. That's a very good point about signage.
Yeah, the signage is terrible. And I'm always telling cyclists, do you realize that you can't cycle on this trail?
Yeah.
And nobody ever realizes. And I wouldn't have seen it if I wasn't on this committee looking at the signs.
I get mixed reactions to that from, oh, sorry, thank you. And then people move onto the road to, I've been doing this for 25 years and I've never done any damage. So
Plus, Google tracks it from where people go. So Google Maps advises you to drive on our trails.
that's good. Okay. Thank you. I think that's covered that quite extensively in today's meeting. Safe routes to school. We were trying to put a subcommittee together, and I am still on the hook to get in touch with Roberta Zaira on a number of items, and we'll try and do that again now that she's on vacation time. We don't have any further update on that. Moving along. Good morning. Can I help you at all?
This is the Bicycle, Pedestrian and Traffic Safety Committee.
Item 6C is our opportunity for a report from our Alternative Transport Infrastructure Committee.
Yeah, I actually went to the library and looked at not so much alternative transport on bikes, but on alternative transport for older adults. And what I didn't realize was that there are several things. One is the Sarah Yellow Cab. You can ask for a wheelchair accessible vehicle.
Oh,
And there's a very good handbook called the Senior Mobility Guide. The other thing is I didn't realize that Uber had senior accounts and Lyft Silver also has senior accounts where you can monitor an old person or buy them a gift card for Uber and help them get those services. One of the things that we don't have in Portola Valley, which they have in Belhaven in East Menlo Park or East Palo Alto, is Ride Plus, which is an on-demand riding that they have in Half Moon Bay and East Palo Alto and Belhaven, which is like a little minibus that comes and picks people up. And our bus service is somewhat limited. But there are opportunities. The other one is commute.org, that Menlo Park has commute.org. Businesses sponsor it to come around. And there are opportunities for commute.org to come. I don't know whether it would be worth, for example, the Alpine Inn, or whether we would want a commute bus to come, at certain hours. But it just occurred to me that there are things that the county provides that we're not taking advantage of.
Okay, is there some way that this committee can help publicize that?
Well, I think we could just put on PV Forum that the library does have this senior mobility guide, which is very comprehensive for seniors. And, I don't, public transport is always where there's a dense population and a lot of people to use it. So it's always a challenge. When I was studying transportation in business school, we used to think that Dial a Ride was going to be popular all over the place because people could dial things, but it just never has really taken off.
I think that might be an excellent thing to put in, Darcy, to put in one of the next town newsletters.
Senior mobility guide. There's a lot of things that seniors, I was just saying, I didn't realize that Uber and Lyft had senior options, and that the Sarah taxi, which will come, can have wheelchair options, things like that. And so there's a lot of stuff in here as to what Portola Valley is eligible for, which isn't very much. But Peninsula Volunteers, for example, they are the people that run the Rosner House down on Middle Avenue. They actually were having volunteers pick people up, but their waiting list is full now and they've closed the waiting list. But Foster City, for example, has what they call a Foster City Village, where neighbors help neighbors with rides. We don't have anything like that, but the Senior Mobility Guide does have some options for us. So we should promote it, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I see Waymo comes up all the time.
That would be a great string to our outreach bow for various things. So,
Yeah.
If I can help coordinate that, or if you can talk to Darcy, what the best way is forward on that. I'll add that to my notes here. Okay, thank you, Angela. That's actually very constructive. Interesting stuff. Last item on our ongoing business is a speed trailer update. Kevin, I don't know if you want to speak to that, but it seems like our trailer is working.
Our trailer is finally working. Our speed trailer, our smart trailer is doing its job. We haven't collected any data off of it, but we've tested it in the last 2 months, and it seems to be maintaining power for at least 20 days. So we're in good shape as far as our
One thing
smart trailer.
we could accentuate that if there's a way to upgrade the solar panel. That's the real limitation. Yeah, we can get a bigger battery, but that just extends the time until it is going to run out because it can't harvest enough energy to keep going.
Yeah.
So I can investigate, what the cost of a additional panel would be, but there are these camping panels that are $2, $3 and really that's a pretty small drop in the ocean for something like that, and would augment
They're pretty reasonable now. I know they use them now for out in the desert area.
I'll look into
Very
that and
small,
see,
very
'cause
compact, very powerful.
the panel on the trailer is very small.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
But it is doing a good job now. We've got two
Yeah.
good batteries on there.
Yeah.
And I can update that I have actually got the laptop working and got into the program so we can change messages, play around with that. And we can actually then analyze the data that comes
Oh,
off.
good.
So I need to get more conversant with that software and then we can do some more stats. Okay, anything further?
Slowing people down. I see them coming down on Alpine Road down
It is
Ford
effective.
Field, and I see the brakes going on.
And I think one
I see the
thing,
brakes going on, you know, they're slowing down.
one thing with that we should do, and we talked about it in relation to schools, is find a place on Shawnee Pass near Ormondale School, where we could set the limit down to like, 18, 19 miles an hour.
When school, before school starts.
Before school starts, ahead of that to stop.
Yeah. Maybe the
So we need to scope out.
first part of August, because school starts when?
Yeah. We need to,
15, 16?
need to scope out a good location for that.
Mm-hmm.
Something perhaps you and I, Kevin, could do on a field trip.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Okay, and nothing further on that from anybody, so we'll move on
Yep.
to item.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Or a comment. A friend of mine on his van is using Starlink, and then he uses Starlink at home, and then he puts the Starlink on his van. And it's my understanding is the town has Starlink and we already belong to it. So is there some way to use that to keep this running? It's just a suggestion. And my other question is on
That's the power panel, I think she might be.
I'm
what?
sorry, say again, Christy. I got your
Star-
comment about Starlink, but
Yeah, that you can move, there's a movable Starlink thing you can put on top. And we already belong to Starlink, correct? The town.
you'd have to have an individual unit, which would come at its own cost. But our main issue is a very simple one of having sufficient electrical power to keep it running for a long time.
Yeah, I think, okay. Well, he seems to go anywhere in the van with the Starlink on top and everything works. So, anyway, and my other comment is evacuation. I heard in the town council meeting, there's no money for evacuation yet. I thought we were doing a practice evacuation in September. If somebody can comment on that.
Thank you. Thank you for reminding me about this. And it was something that I wanted to bring up. I believe there's going to be a practice evacuation of parts of the Los Trancos neighborhood in October. I think there's a nominal date, September 11th. Okay, that's a date to remember. Okay. That's something I imagine is going to be publicized widely ahead of time because of the disruption it's very likely to cause, which is the point of it. So,
Well, did you just say to Los Trancos, not the whole town, or what are you saying?
not the whole town, no,
Thank you. Okay.
but it will still be wise to plan around it. Okay, if I can move on to item 7, which is our upcoming events. We have discussed a little about Palooza. PV Palooza will be on Saturday, August 29th. And general attendance will start from, I think, around 10 p.m. until, is it 10:30 to 8:30? Thank you. It's 10:30 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. for anyone interested. And then the town picnic and Zots to Tots, which we should start to get organized, is on September 19th. I will be back in town at that point and can help with the organization there. I know CERT and the emergency response guys already have this on their calendar. So I'm hoping we can loop this together relatively easily according to our existing pattern. And that's all I have for today. Any further comments for anyone before I draw the meeting to?
Well, it had bicycle education class as the next one, and that's something that Rita was talking about.
Oh, beg your pardon. Yes.
I'm not sure what bicycle education class.
I threw that in. Well, somebody, I think you, Angela, had mentioned that Bike Silicon Valley runs courses. Whether
Yeah.
we could coordinate something. It'd be neat to do it in combination with the town picnic, because people already have their bikes and things around. But I don't know if that's asking too much for one particular day.
I was wondering if we should have a booth at the market on a Palooza night to educate parents.
On a which night?
Well, on a Thursday night when they
Oh,
have the
yes.
concert series, people come to the market beforehand, and you could have a table there and educate people on e-bikes.
That's a good idea. That's a very good idea.
Our
So-
committee would do that?
Yeah, I was going to say, so.
I think you have to talk to the lady that runs the market and have a little table because you can just have a table at the market.
Table, just an info table. It's not a vendor.
Oh, wow,
so-
I didn't know that.
Oh, okay. Obviously, I'm not here on Thursdays, so we'd have to.
Well, I'm here. I always go to the market, so I'm happy to set up a table some Thursday.
Well, that would be fantastic. Thank you, Angela. Yeah, perhaps also with some recruitment as well.
Yeah,
You get the right kind of people. I think that way.
especially on a concert night.
Mhm.
Um,
I'll note that. Christy, last comment before we close out,
Pat's
please.
talking.
I have a comment before you go to,
Oh, Pat, go ahead, please, with your comment.
okay, we made a little bit of progress on our wildlife signage program. And, the question currently is we have a budget of $500. I think that's correct. And we're wondering if it's possible to use that money as a prize for our contest because we need some, we want to have if we're going to have a contest as far as people submitting things, we really do need some kind of
Some incentive, yeah.
an incentive. And, I was looking over this platform that I wanted to use, which is an online art contest platform. Most places offer some kind of prize money. So is the 500 okay to use? Do we want to discuss it? Do we want to use next year's budget as well and make it more? Is 500 enough? I guess that's my first question.
Darcy is available for comment on this.
Yeah, we'll have to look into this. I don't know that town funds can be given away as a prize. But if someone wanted to,
It's Friday.
Huh?
Helen.
okay. But I also just want to say that the town has had a robust process in the past for signage. Like the most recent ones were the radio signage, and before that, I think there was the neighborhood watch signage. So my advice to you is to talk to Councilmember Walter about this because I don't want you to get ahead of the process. The council should provide direction that they support the signage. Also signage, as your group knows, typically has to be conformant with the MUTCD. And so I think before we go through a design contest, we should just confirm that there's a council interest in this and then what the council's expectations are in terms of either complying with the MUTCD, which is required for all signs to be posted on streets, or if this is signage that is meant to be installed elsewhere or not necessarily traffic signage.
I know the intent is to warn drivers, and people going into town about the safety of wildlife.
Yeah.
So in that sense, it is road signage, although it is advisory and informational rather than directional.
Yeah.
So there may be some leeway there. In
Yeah,
what can be shown.
But this town traditionally has been light on signage. That's all I'll say. Yeah, very
that is another-
light touch with signage.
Is another tenet of the town philosophy. So those two things don't always play easily together.
Yeah.
But I think there is, even from the people I know who are maybe want to go signage light, there is a lot of support for this particular installation.
And just to add to that, we are not looking to create a sign that says slow wildlife crossing. We are looking for an alternate communication method. So we're trying to have it a little bit more involved with the environment. I'm not quite sure if that's the right word, But like one of the ideas was animal tracks going across a heavily used area where there's an animal crossing. Uh, we're looking for more artsy kind of fit in with the environment as opposed to just a big sign that says slow down wildlife.
Yeah, we don't really have public art in Portola Valley, so it comes under sort of public art is what we
Yeah.
were thinking.
It's not going to just be a no parking sign. We're trying to make it something to encourage our residents to get involved and to get other people involved, to try to make it something more of a statement that we really care about our wildlife as opposed to just letting them get killed by cars, by fast
Oh, yeah.
vehicles.
And I think we all agree on that. I think given the additional ideas I'm hearing being discussed here, we need to really set a very clear scope.
Mm.
The other element of this is it's a popular, I mean, the sentiment over the lion cubs and things last January and all of that. I would think this is an area where we could perhaps invite a donorship for any kind of prize scheme, and that might be I could expect that might be well supported by the community. So there might be a way to publicize that, invite donors for a prize, and then work on the scope of what is being, what the intent of the informational policy, the signage, the installation, and the artwork. Really think carefully about the scope of those, maybe make a list of like the 5 top things and figure out where we'd want to go with that, and then look for some council direction, because that's going to be necessary whatever we do.
I want to mention that we had a program going back 5 years ago called Neighborhood Watch. And it was a big eye and a camera eye. And the town said, absolutely not. We don't want that. So we had a contest here in Portola Valley and finally came up with the owl. So now I think we have 3 signs in the town, which has the same kind of endurance for people to be pay attention to burglaries and things.
I'd also encourage you, this sounds like it might fall within other committees too. Conservation Committee, and we have a Nature and Science Committee that last year did a whole Wildlife Awareness Month and had a lot of activities. So typically what would be done here is a subcommittees created by this group. They prepare a recommendation that then comes back to this committee and is voted on and then forwarded to the town council. If these other committees also created subcommittees, that might also be people to work with. But at the very least, you could approach their chairs.
Yep.
And talk about it.
I'm willing to approach the other chairs, and I'd be willing, maybe Pat, would you be willing to work together on a subcommittee on that?
We are on a subcommittee,
There
Pat,
is a-
and
We
I-
have a
we have
subcommittee.
a subcommittee already, and
Beg your pardon.
we've written some document for
Yeah,
ourselves.
we've done all this stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe agendize it for a meeting and let the
I
other.
think what we need to do is do a presentation to the town council at this stage and get on the agenda so that they know about it.
Okay, let's do
That's a
that.
good idea.
Usually the stage is just write a letter and then the
Okay.
liaison attaches it to their notes on the meeting and then take it from there.
We could do a scope and send that to Helen if
Helen,
that's
yeah,
the way to
yeah.
do it.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it does have to come back to this committee to get voted on.
Okay.
The subcommittee, I'll just remind everyone, is advisory only. So any product that you present, you make an advisory recommendation to the whole
And
committee.
then we vote to
Committee
forward it
votes,
to-
and then
yeah.
it's forwarded. And that's been done the past, most recently, just in the form of letters that then are then sent to the council. And then the council could decide whether to agendize the item or not.
That's good.
Okay,
Good
so-
advice.
The idea of using our budget for the prize money was from Helen. That wasn't my idea.
We just need to look into that. in more
Okay,
detail.
I think that would be great. It'd be really nice to just keep this moving forward. I think would be great. And
Absolutely.
there's been
Then
a
may I
lot of
please,
people interested in this one.
I agree. May I please ask, do you have something ready for our next meeting?
We can try.
All right. Thank
Yep.
you very much.
Yeah.
That will be great progress. I know we all want to do something here, but I'm as guilty as everybody else. I feel that somehow a little bit of flailing as we try to figure out what to do next.
It's new. This is a new process for us, so we're looking for
That's right.
direction.
Thank you, Pat.
Yeah.
Thanks for bringing it up. If there's nothing else on there, our next scheduled meeting would fall on August 7th.
I still have my hand up, thanks.
Christy, one last comment, please, and then I have to go to a meeting.
Okay, this has been a 5-year thing to try to get wildlife signage. I've been trying to get it in the town and bringing it up in different meetings. So the conservation refers you back to BPTS. They think it's more BPTS than them. So just the history on that. And I've submitted a sign, but it sounds like you don't want to go with the sign I submitted that's very cheap. And it's not only wildlife death, it can be human death. So this is a warning to contractors, which we will have more, more projects are coming, more people from out of town that have never been here. And that's my concern, is we're going to have some issues with this. So if we don't get our signage up before our housing element starts really taking off, then we're going to have issues. And so I just encourage this committee to keep going on it. I was just in Utah and they had moose on the side of the road, big art thing with kind of air through the moose. And I thought, what's that? Oh, moose are, going across the road here. And the Uber driver said there's always kill on that road. So it was an interesting to research other states like Wyoming and Idaho and Utah. They're being very creative in their signage. So,
All right. Thank you very much.
And then I do have a question about if you could keep hawthorns on your agenda, because the public wants updates on back conversations regarding Hawthorne parking. And I feel like we're not getting this information, and it might have already been started behind the desk. So maybe Darcy could help us get updated on that as well.
With the Hawthorne situation, we really need to stay on top of that, because in hindsight, we do not need a 50-car parking lot. We don't need a 30-car parking lot. We need a parking lot for about 6 cars. So it's so over there. Yeah. Thank you, Christy, for bringing that up, because
yeah, keep it on the agenda. And then
Yeah.
Darcy, if you could update us, this is the committee that the public goes to get updates.
Okay, thank you. That's noted. With that out of the way, I will motion to adjourn the meeting. Do I have a second, please?
You have a second. Thanks, Ed.
And as I said, our next meeting will be on August 7th at 8:15. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you,